Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
Hello children, how are you? This is Rashi ma'am from the Story House. Welcome to the channel. And today we are going to do the story of Santa Claus. Would you like to hear? Alright, so I'm going to read it out of my laptop today to you. Alright children, so let's get ready for a lovely story. So this is called the story of the Santa Claus, and it is adapted by Rick Bunsen and illustrated by Carolyn Braxton, and it's based on the life and adventures of Santa Claus by L. Frank Baum. A long time ago, before your parents and their parents and their parents were born, there lived a merry young man named Claus. He lived in a snug wooden house in a place called Laughing Valley. He loved his wooden house and he loved Laughing Valley. Most of all, he loved to please children. He loved to make children happy. One winter night, Claus sat by the fire with his cat. Let's meet his cat. Blinky! Yeah! He sat by the fire with his cat Blinky, and he had some spare wood line. He thought, let me make something out of this. Ears, whiskers, tail. Soon Claus had carved a wooden cat. It looked just like Blinky. But what shall I do with it? Claus wondered. There were no toys at that time, so nobody knew what was toy. Nobody knew that. And he was thinking, what should I do with it? Just then, Claus heard a cry for help in the winter wind. Claus rushed into the darkness and found a little boy buried in a snowdrift. Joey! Claus cried. Joey was a little boy who lived near the Laughing Valley. He had been lost in the snow. Joey was really scared and frightened. He was cold and he was crying when Claus brought him inside. The child felt better in the warm cottage. He felt still better when Claus gave him the wooden cat to hold. Soon Joey was fast asleep. Now I know, said Claus. The wooden cat is a toy for the children to love. I will make more and give them to as many children as I can. So Claus began to work. He made another cat and another and another. He gave cats to the children in the nearby village also. News of the wonderful toys spread far and wide. Now let's see what happened. One day, Claus decided to make a lion instead of a cat. He thought about the lions in the forest near the valley, and he carved the lion with a big toothy smile. Let's see. Not long after, Joey brought his little sister Mary to the cottage. I have a present for you, said Claus. He showed Mary the toy lion. But what happened? Mary got scared. She started crying. But did Claus want that? Of course not. I don't want to scare children, Claus said. I want to make them happy. Claus comforted Mary and gave her a big hug, and he made a decision. From now on, I will carve only gentle animals. Squirrels, rabbits, deer, and he gave Mary a cat of her own which he had carved. Mary was happy. She was really excited to get the cat. She got her smile back. Soon Claus was making other kinds of toys as dolls, drums, horns. He built rows of shelves and covered them with playthings of every size and every color. And then he filled a sack with toys. Ho, ho, ho! and he handed them to every child he met on his way. But winter was coming fast. Before long, the snow was so deep that Claus could no longer walk to the village. One morning, he looked out to the door and saw two deer from the forest. They walked lightly and easily over the snow. "I wish I could walk in the snow like you. Then I could bring toys to the children," said Claus. Let's see what the deer say. You know, children, they were magic deer actually. They could listen, they could understand, and they could also talk. Their names were Glossy and Flossy. "If you build us a sleigh, we will gladly pull you to the village." Oh, wow! So now Claus is going to build a sleigh. So Claus built a sleigh. And that night he harnessed the deer and they drew the sleigh swiftly over the snow. But by the time they arrived at the village, everyone was sleeping and the doors were locked. "How can I get in to leave the toys?" Claus wondered out loud. "We'll take you to the roof," said Glossy, "and then you can climb down the chimney." In one bound, Glossy and Flossy lifted Claus, the sleigh, and the sack full of toys to the roof. Claus was delighted. He climbed down the first chimney and left a toy for each sleeping child in the house. Then he climbed back up the chimney, and Glossy and Flossy leapt to the next roof. When all the toys were gone, Claus returned back to his village, the Laughing Valley. Guess what? What would have happened when the children would have woken up in the morning? They were excited. People knew Claus had left the toys because he was the only toy maker in the world. Remember, there were no toys at that time. The parents thought he must be a saint, and that is why they named him Santa Claus. Yeah, they named him Santa Claus. And since that time, Santa Claus has set out every Christmas Eve with many sacks of toys and 10 reindeer to pull his sleigh. As his magic reindeer pull the sleigh through the sky, he calls out to all the sleeping houses, "Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everyone!" And all the children are delighted to receive their gifts. Isn't that amazing, children? So that was the story of the Santa Claus and how he got his name. So I hope, children, you enjoyed the story of Santa Claus. And you know, children, Christmas is a festival of love. It's a festival of caring, sharing, togetherness. So do not forget to share the story with your friends and subscribe to the channel if you like the story. Wish you all Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. Bye-bye from Rashi ma'am. See you another time.
We wish you a